So now that we've discussed the dividend pricing models, let's discuss some of the limitations. Okay, so because the pricing models estimate stock prices based on future cash flow, such as the dividends to be received and a required rate of return, they're difficult to apply universally. And that's because there's firms that have fairly erratic dividend patterns. Some firms have no dividends for long periods of time. Others have declining dividend trends. So we need to find a solution. We need a pricing model that's more inclusive. So we can use the following two models. Okay. First is the capital asset pricing model, and that will be discussed further on in the program. But more immediately, we will discuss the security market line, and this can be used to estimate the expected rate of returns based on risk and the reward for waiting. And therefore, we don't have to rely on the historical dividend patterns. Finally, let's consider preferred stock. So it's also a source of capital. It's sold by companies where they offer to pay a constant dividend to the holder for as long as the stock is outstanding. Now, typically a stock has infinite maturity, but some issues are sold with convertibility options. Maybe you can convert your shares into common stock or at some predetermined ratio. Now, preferred stock owners have preferred status, okay, which means over common stock holders, which in case of dividend payments and liquidity payments. So in other words, they're priority, okay? We can also be issued cumulative or non-cumulative dividends, which just means if you miss a payment, you would still get that payment in the future, which would be cumulative. Non-cumulative means you wouldn't. So it really just depends on the amount of priority that you want, guarantee, you pay more for that stock. Now, in order to calculate the price of a preferred stock, we'll use the present value of a perpetuity equation as covered in Chapter 4 with the annual dividend rate times the par value being the PMT and the required rate of return being the discount rate. Let's take a look at an example. So in this case, we have a company that's issuing preferred stock. It has an annual dividend of 8% on its par value of $60. If you want to earn 10% on your investment, how much should you offer this preferred stock? Well, first step is to figure out what our annual dividend is. Okay, so we know the annual dividend rate is 8%, and we're going to multiply that by our par value. So we know we're getting a annual dividend of $4.80, and we're simply going to divide that by our rate of return on the investment, which is 10%, and that's going to give us a price of $48. So in this chapter, in this lecture, we've discussed calculating or evaluating stock prices, mainly focused on dividend payments and history. Next chapter, we'll figure out another way to value our stocks based off of the security market line. Thanks for watching, and happy financing.